Right, hello everybody. Right, today we're going to put a door in one of these epoxy Outsunny polytunnels. They're garbage. Don't even get me started on that. If you want to see why I bought this one and the build and the review, I'll put the link in the description. I've only had this a week and already the zips are going. So I'm putting in a door. I'm fed up. We're trying to get in and out the zip, blah, blah, blah. I've done it as cheap as I possibly can because I don't want to spend any more money on this thing. The only hardware I've bought is a couple of stainless steel hinges, and they were only £5. Dead simple. I'll show you how to do it. If you're handy, just get on and do it. If you're not, carry on watching and I'll show you how to do it. Dead simple, using what I've called the sandwich method of doing it. So basically, we've built a frame on the inside, shut the door, frame on the outside, door frame on the inside, door frame on the outside, sandwiched it all together, and then once we've done that, in with a sharp knife and cut around the door and the frame. So we're using the existing plastic. We just use the zip entrance to get in and out while we did it. All right, all done in a day, nice and simple. If you want to see how I did it, what's that they say on the telly? Run VT. Right, quick rundown of all the tools you need. A saw, tenor, a tape. I'll show you a good trick with a tape. If you're like me and you forget what measurement you had or what measurement you need, just write it on your tape. So I need 20mm by 60. Write it on your tape. Then when you go to cut it, you've got it on your tape what you need. Top tip, that is. Right. Pencil, screwdriver bit, level, some screws. If you want to know what screws to get for your timber, whatever the thickness is, these are 30mm, so this is 60. So you don't want 60, you've got to go through. So 50, simple as that. I've used timber fixings, which are timber screws with the 8mm hex, because I'm probably going to take this down. You could use screws, but these are better. I use second-hand ones that have been reclaimed because I had them. If you had to buy these, 25 of these are about £8, and I reckon you'd need probably about 100. Retractable knife, just to get through and cut the plastic out. Plumb bob for your heights. Now, speed square. If you're doing any sort of building work, get yourself one of these. You can use it to mark a line to cut, and you can also use it for squaring up, because all the joints in this build are straight cuts, nothing fancy. Some pliers, these are pliers, some metal cutting snips to cut this builder's band, which I use to secure the uprights. It's brilliant, flexible, it's got holes in, you can bend it to whatever shape and then just screw through it and it holds things still. And I cut the shape for the top of the tunnel on a bit of scrap wood and use that as a template for cutting all the other ones. And that's it. Or an impact driver. If you only buy one power tool, get yourself an impact driver. Putting in screws and taking out screws and putting in these 8mm timber fixings. Or finally, some timber preservative. All right, that's it. That's all you need to build this. The only thing I actually bought was this, which was £6, and the 2 stainless steel hinges. That's it. That's all you need. Off you go. Do it. Best thing you'll ever do is put a door in one of these bloody things. Right, I wasn't going to bother filming this bit, but I thought I'd better have, as it's part of what I'm doing. I've decided to put a door in this and a support at the far end. So here we've got a load of second-hand decking board that I've cut down roughly the length just so I could get it in my van, and some of it I've cut in half so I can use that for the actual doors, laid out on some trestles and some bits of wood, ready to creosote up. So all you creosote haters, you're going to love this. Big tub of creosote, slap it on, stop it going green. Right, let's get on with that. Oh, and I did forget to mention that all this old wood here, the second-hand decking board, I pressure washed it all off to get the worst of the green off. All right, so it's not all slimy and horrible. All right, I think that's it. Drive on. Right, so first thing, obviously there's a bend in this hoop, and we've got to cut the tops of our uprights to fit. So the way I did it, I've used an offcut, so I can use that as a template because I've got 4 to cut. So I just push it up past, get it level, mark with a pencil, and cut it off. So I've got a template because these are going in the ground. Obviously this would be a lot easier if you didn't have the sheet on, but I'm retrofitting this, so this is one way to do it. Right, goodie. Right, so I need to know where to dig the hole at the bottom for the bit of wood because it's longer than the internal dimensions. So one way of doing it is mark where your wood comes to, put a string, and what I've done, use the plumb bob or just anything that's got a weight on it. That comes down and that tells you roughly where your hole's going to be. So then another use for the scrap bit of wood, on it still, it's going to be about there. So I know my hole is going to be something like that. Give me a bit of wiggle room, but it puts you in the ballpark. Right, let's get on. Right, to secure the top, I've used builder's band wrapped around the hoop and then screwed on to the back of the decking board. I'll just show you what builder's band is all about. Right, this is builder's band. It's a flexible metal strip. This was £6 from Screwfix. Just cut it easily with a pair of metal cutters. So it cuts easily, and then you can just form it to whatever shape you want. So you can make it into something like that, dig around the hoop and secure the wood too. So that's builder's band, very useful. Right, so we got the uprights in. Now I've just put in the horizontals, one at the top and one at the bottom. And all I've done is cut the internal length and put 2 pieces of wood on the outside of that to screw it to the uprights. And I've just put 1 screw in each, got it level and got it square, and then we'll fit the door inside. Then we'll add more screws once we know it's all good and square. So 1 top, 1 bottom, level. That's it. Right, so this is just making a simple door. So we got the 2 uprights and 3 cross members. Now, yes, you can put in triangulation and bracing. I just can't be arsed. I just want to get this done. So all I've done is cut some triangles, and I'll put a triangle in each corner and a slightly different shaped piece. Well, I'll put it there so you can see. Yes, and go on. Piece like that, and we just use the speed square. Do you know what that is? That's a speed square. Just to square it all up and then just screw it all together. All right, nice and simple. 1 door. Oh, make your door 10 millimeters smaller than your opening. All right, about 10 mil. Then it's not going to stick and catch and rub. Simple as that. Goodie. On we go. Right, so there we go, with all the bracings in place, the middle bracings and the top and bottom ones. I'll just give this a coat of clear coat now, just to stop it all going green and horrible. Then we'll fit them. Getting on in me. Right, so that's the inside door made up and fitted. What I've done is put 10mm spacing under the bottom to lift it up. I've then put 2 temporary braces to the frame and then screwed the door to those braces. So this door is now fixed in position, because like I said at the beginning, we're going to make a polytunnel cover sandwich and then cut the door out at the end, and we're going to use the existing cover, let it down, sandwich it on the outside and then cut around. And these brackets, they're made of ply. The reason I've chosen ply to make these out of is because if you use just plain wood, chances are they'll split out when you try and put a lot of screws in them. So this is just 9mm ply, and I've used the triangle method because this is way stronger than any of those epoxy L-shaped brackets you can get. All right, so there we go. That's the inner made up and ready to go. Right, this is what I mean by a polytunnel cover sandwich. I've done the same at the far end, putting the uprights in and some cross members, and at the top I've wrapped a bit of pipe insulation around the ends and where the wood may touch the polytunnel, the cover. Otherwise it will rip because it's garbage. And that's the space where I'm going to put in a vent, and down the bottom another cross member, and I've dug some holes and I'll fill them in at the end. All right, so that's the inside with the polytunnel cover on the outside, and now we'll go outside and sandwich it together, and then I can cut out this piece and put in a bit of ventilation mesh. Right, let's go outside. Good, it's warm and it's not raining. Happy days. Right, so now we're outside. I'm going to put the outside part of our sandwich on. I'm using decking board, so I've got the smooth side in to give it as much grip, sandwiching this together. If you've got to do something like this where you need 3 hands, put your screws halfway in before you start, at least a few of them. That'll help you out. So you stick that in there. You can see through the plastic, so you can get it something like it. Like that. Just screw it in. Do the top and the bottom first. Simple as that. I've used 8mm wood screws with the 8mm hex head on them, because should you ever want to take anything apart, it's a lot easier and it's a lot better than screws. All right, so that's that. I'll do the other side, a couple across the top. Then once it's all sandwiched in like that, just cut that out and put our vent mesh in. Right on. Right, so now we've got all our outside battens put on, top, bottom, screwed in, load more screws, stop it slipping, just cut out the vent. You can just see how garbage this is. Right, cut that out, then we'll go inside and we'll put our vent screen in. All right, because hot air rises. That's why I'm doing this. Carry on. Right, so we just about finished up now. Put in a bit of this plastic mesh to let the wind out and let it ventilate. Just nailed that up, same, everything's level. One thing, when you're doing it, don't forget to protect your ends. Whatever wood preservative of your choice, because that's where it's most vulnerable. It's like a straw, it'll suck it in. And I know it's a little bit more effort to do it, but if you got your bowl of stuff and a little brush, I mean, how much does that take? Anyway, I've got one last bit to put in the bottom, fill in the holes, job done. Ventilation, worth doing, and it's going to hold all this a lot tighter. Right, that's it. Booty. Right, so we better just do a quick walk through the finished project. There's our door, nice and simple. I haven't spent any money on this, more than I had to. The hinges are just a bit of wood with a screw in the center, twist, open, in we go. Yeah, all right, I use some power tools, but I've got power tools, so you don't need them. But I ain't going to struggle just because I haven't got them, but I have. So there we go. Right, and at the other end, we've got the support for the far end with our vent mesh in the top to help with circulation. And this is the end that doesn't get the weather, so you're not going to have anything driving in there. Right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'm building a allotment garden completely from scratch, so if you want to see the other things I'm up to, you could subscribe. Hours of fun for all the family. Right on. Cheers and go on.